Hey Internet, it's Rev. Just wanted to take a minute to share some of my views on why I do what I do and why I think you should care. See, the indie game community is much like any other community within the world. We have a ton of friends, a ton of people that we like and we enjoy spending time with. And we also have that cousin that spits in the punch and runs naked through the family reunion despite the fact that, he wasn't actually invited. But within that eclectic group of individuals, we have one of the greatest creative environments in the history of entertainment, in the history of mankind. And what is it about that community that truly draws me in? Well, one of the biggest factors is the fact that we no longer see innovation and exploration from our AAA scene. Games being designed by a committee to maximize profit and minimize risk results in things being bland. It's like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich without the peanut butter and jelly, or biting into a piece of cake and discovering that they forgot to put sugar in the recipe. But within the morass that has become committee game design, there's this beacon of art and joy called the indie game scene. It's a land that allows us to explore our humanity and all the variations that come with it. We get to celebrate our differences. We get to decry injustice. We can discuss our taboos, and we even revel in humor. It's this last bastion of truth and exploration, and I love the fact that I have the ability to participate in this amazing environment, and I will do anything, and I do mean anything, to keep on being a part of it. Hey guys, it's Rev again from Indie Game Riot. Josh asked me to make a second video, less about the indie game community and more about the show Indie Game Riot itself and what it means to me. Slightly different bent, slightly different tack on it, but hopefully it'll explain a little bit more about why I come to the show the way that I come to the show, and why I think it's a fantastic tool. It's a fantastic thing. It's kind of hard to say that without sounding like a shill for a company, but one of the biggest things that first drew me to the project when we were first hammering out what the show was going to be about, and like we knew it was going to be about indie games, but the shows tend to have or should have some overarching theme to it, and it took us quite a few weeks of talking to each other back and forth. This was actually even before Tekido even came on. We had done quite a bit of work on what angle we were going to be taking for the show, and the biggest reason why I was drawn to the project itself and to why I stay with the project is there's this almost this inherent lack of negativity to it. In games journalism, there's a lot of negativity. There's a good example would be like what's his name, Yahtzee, Ben Croshaw. He's a fantastic reviewer, very humorous. He's very, very good at what he does. I'm a fan. I watch every single one of his reviews, and I can't argue with anything that he says. Even about games that I love, he's right. Like, his criticism, this is objectively a dumb idea. I agree with it, and it's something that typically irks me. But because of the nature of the internet, because of this overarching cynicism that we as humans have, we tend to focus entirely on that as an internet culture. And Indie Game Riot isn't really about that. Yeah, we talk about some serious topics. Yeah, we talk about things that are bad. Yes, we share our gripes about things. But in general, everything that we do is a celebration in positivity. Even our worst reviewed game or games have been things that are, this is something that you could have done better, but this was an amazing experience as it is, and this is what I took out of it. It might not have been an objectively good game, but it was a good experience, and the fact that we're able to celebrate that together and share that with you guys means a whole lot to me. And segueing from that into the type of games that we play, we get to play a lot of games. Not a lot of us have a whole lot of free time, or let me rephrase, 2/3 of us don't have a whole lot of free time, but we do get to play a lot of fantastic games by fantastic people. Everything from horror to ASCII art to, point and click to text-based adventures. we get to play them all. Not all of them are given to us. Not all of them are press copies or tech demos or anything like that. Quite a few of these we've had to go out and purchase on our own, and we play through those, and we have this backlog. We have a backlog for like the next 6 months, and we keep trying to shift games around within that backlog to see, this one we were going to do in the Peep Show, but now it's out in full release, so we're going to bump it up to doing the right. But, oh wait, no, there's this really cool game that just came out. We've got to talk about this. Through that, not every game's ever going to be featured on our show, and that is kind of a sad thing to me. I do feel that would, if we could ever get to the point where we were doing this like 9 days out of a week, it would be amazing. But from playing fantastic games, we have met some seriously fantastic people. I don't do name dropping very often, so I'm not going to really start here, but we participated with the Indie 3 back in June, and that was such an amazing experience. Not only to catch as many of the panels as were possible on such a wide array of topics, but to interact with developers and coders and artists and musicians and the PR people and the marketing people, and I have made lifelong friends, or people that at least I would consider to be lifelong friends, just through the course of Indie Game Riot as a series. And so, there are people that legitimately I have never met, that if they were to call or message me, as the case may be, and be like, hey, I'm flying out to Southern California, I'm going to be in town for 3 weeks, what do you want to do? I would have no problem. Hey, you know what? You want to come crash at my place? I got a spare room, or, I've got a hideaway bed, whatever. We'll get beer, we'll play some games together, we'll take you around, do whatever happens. And those people I wouldn't have met if it hadn't been for Indie Game Riot. And the human connection, that the way that we all interlock and are looking for meaning to existence, and how we all find that is a very important aspect of this for me. On a slightly more serious note, and I do apologize if this kind of changes your perspective of me, but it is part of who I am. For most people don't know, but I suffer from severe depression. It gets extremely worse when I'm currently unemployed or not working on projects, because my mind goes into this cycle of I'm not doing anything of value, therefore I'm not actually of anything of value. And to me, that cycle's been going on for a while. I'm currently in my second longest unemployment stint of my entire life, and I've been working for over half of my life. So when Josh first approached me with this project, it was one of those things that I could latch onto and help give my day-to-day existence some kind of meaning. There have been literally days that the only reason I bother getting out of bed is so that I can research a new game, or so that I can research one of the topics that we're going to be talking about on this week's episode of Indie Game Riot. There have been times where it's been really, really hard for me to do that. And unfortunately, I think that shows in a couple of our episodes where I'm just really I'm not present, I'm not there, but I'm as there as I could have been at that point in time. And going back and re-listening to that episode, those couple of episodes, allows me to go, hey, you should step up your game just a little bit. And so, this isn't really a pity party thing. I don't want it to come across that way, but if it wasn't for Indie Game Riot, I probably wouldn't be nearly as active as I am right now. I wouldn't be nearly as looking forward to the future, just because that is what it is. For those of you that do suffer from depression, you kind of know what I'm talking about. For those of you that don't, it's a difficult thing. It's a difficult thing to wake up in the morning and believe down to the fiber of your being that you literally have no intrinsic value as a human being upon the greater world, and it can be really hard to deal with that. But having this side project, this project where we are so upbeat and positive about everything, about bad games, about horrible situations, about things that are going on, where we have the ability to talk about it in an adult manner and still have fun with it. That's really helped me through a couple of dark places since we've started this project. And then on a lighter note, we do have a lot of fun. You don't necessarily see as much of that if you watch the recorded episodes, but I've had several people that have been present while recording my side of the show that have specifically requested that we do an episode that is nothing but us laughing. You'll sometimes hear it on the live stream. But when we're gearing up to start up our next segment, after we've kibitzed in between and everybody's gotten their drink or whatnot, and then okay, are you guys ready? Yep, I'm ready. All right. Well, don't fuck this one up. Okay. And pause, and then somebody starts laughing, and it sets us all off. And we've probably done this 100 times in the last 20 episodes or whatnot, but. Literally people have said, I just want a full hour laugh track of Indie Game Riot, of you guys doing that. Outside of Indie Game Riot, we have fun together. We get to play some games together, not as often as we'd like, because they're on the East Coast, I'm on the West Coast, and, scheduling, they have jobs in school and kids and all of that, and I'm unemployed and have a house and a wife and kids and all of that. So it's not an everyday occurrence that we get to play together, but when we do, it's a lot of fun. We play things that aren't even video games. We're currently in a D&D campaign. A couple of episodes into it, where Tech is being our dungeon master, and Josh and I are running around playing our characters, and we're just playing it over Skype with a couple of websites so that everything's up on the level, and we're having a blast with that. We get along really well together. I would have I never met them in person, but through my work with them, through Indie Game Riot, I've come to know them, and I would have no problem with them coming to visit. And I would assume, don't tell me if I'm wrong, but I assume that they would feel the same. If I showed up in Pennsylvania and was like, hey, I'm out here on the East Coast, I want to hang out with you guys for a little bit, I wouldn't anticipate either of them would be like, oh, well, there's a hotel down the street or something, and to me that means a lot. That's really... It's a good thing. It wasn't something that I anticipated was going to be coming out of Indie Game Riot, that I would have these two lifelong friends. And don't tell Josh, but I still owe him a pizza, brought to you by Domino's, and I'm probably going to be shipping him some beer, probably next payday. Don't let him know. But we get to celebrate with each other, and we commiserate with each other, and all of that builds into these fantastic relationships, and that's what I'm all about, especially right now. It used to be being negative was all the big rage. I can be a critic, but it's so hard to be angry. It's really, really hard to be angry. It's so much easier when you have a couple of good guys that you can all laugh and joke together and have fun talking about things. So that, in kind of a nutshell, really long nutshell as it were, is me and why I love Indie Game Riot, why I think you would love it too. Bye now.